Good evening. We are Patti and Joe Dille. It's almost 2 years that we lost our 17-year-old son, Matt, to suicide. He was smart, funny, witty, and handsome. We stand here today in memory of Matt. We stand here today for the Widener University community so that you do not have to suffer the loss of your family member or friend. Matt lived 2 different lives. Beneath his beautiful smile, his laughter, his jokes, there was a struggle. Matt suffered in silence. Many of us are struggling and suffering with depression and anxiety. Many, like our son Matt, didn't talk about it. We need to change that. Let's take away the taboo and start speaking to others. The stigma of depression and anxiety and mental illness is very real. We saw the tremendous effects Matt's death had. A single death is a tragedy. But do you know that for every one death, 115 people are affected? Kevin Hines, a survivor, talks about this ripple effect. I'd like to share a little bit about this remarkable person. On the day that Kevin decided to end his life, he attended his first class. He took a bus to the Golden Gate Bridge, crying on the bus the entire way. Kevin Hines stood on that bridge for 40 minutes. He was still crying. A tourist came up and asked him, "Can you take my picture?" Hines said, "That was the first straw, the last straw." Clear proof that no one cared. He took the picture and then he jumped. Instantly, he realized he had made a mistake and came up with a plan to save his life. He now is a motivational speaker, and we will be attending one of his talks on October 5th. I can't wait to see him. So hear this message. If one person had said to him on the bus or on the bridge, "Are you okay? Can I help you?" it would have made a difference.
So who here is a suicide survivor? They have a friend or a family member, an acquaintance who, a number of you, and I'm sorry for your losses. We would like to prevent another suicide, as I know you would too. Suicide is the only death where they do not know the cause, and there's nothing that can be done afterwards. It has to all be preventative work, and that's something that Patti and I are trying to promote. As young adults, your statistical risk of suicide has doubled since middle school. Suicide is now the number 2 cause of death for adolescents and young adults. Number 1 cause is accidents. Car accidents, fires, other kinds of accidents. And as a society, and throughout your schooling prior to this and even on this campus, you get a constant message about safety. Wear your seatbelt when you drive the car, have your passengers wear their seatbelt, obey the traffic laws, wear a helmet when you ride a bicycle or a motorcycle, have smoke detectors in your dorm, in your house at home. All these things. What have you really heard about suicide prevention? Probably nothing. And these topics have not been covered. We need to start discussing suicide. This is the number 2 cause of death for, unfortunately, people of your age. Fortunately, Pennsylvania has just turned a corner, and it's late for our son, but it's a start. They just enacted Pennsylvania Act number 71 last year, And there's two main points to this act. It happened before your time, but or too late for you, I'm sorry. But one is to adopt the Youth Suicide Awareness Program and prevention policy in schools, to add this to the curriculum. And number two is to provide ongoing professional development in youth suicide awareness and prevention for the professional educators, for the teachers. So now all Pennsylvania teachers, K through 12 or 6 through 12, will have some professional training in this. So, do you know the signs of suicide? Talking about wanting to die or kill themselves, looking for a way to kill themselves, such as searching online or buying a gun, talking about feeling hopelessness or having no reason to live, talking about feeling trapped or in unbearable pain, talking about it being a burden to others. I'm sure these are common threads. And this isn't really strange. I mean, we talked about 1 in 4 suffering from mental illness. We were at a talk at our high school where, through a text app and the PowerPoint, the speaker was able to ask a question: how many people in the audience had thought of suicide, how many had never thought of it, and how many people have actually considered it. And they could text with their phones. This is the first time I ever heard of asking people to text in a high school. And the response was immediate, and behind the speaker you could see the bar graphs go up. And they were pretty much divided in thirds. A third of the people, the students, had never thought of it. A third had thought of it, and a third had considered it. So that means 2/3 have either thought of it or considered it. It's not a strange thing, but it's something we need to talk about. Another sign is increasing the use of alcohol or drugs, acting anxious, agitated, or behaving recklessly, sleeping too much or too little, withdrawing or isolating themselves, showing rage, or talking about seeking revenge, or displaying extreme mood swings. These are all signs that you can, if you see them, you should be concerned, or if you're feeling them or acting them, you should think about it. Over here we have a few little cards with these signs on there, and you're welcome to take it. They also have the suicide prevention phone number that's been around for years, but everybody needs to know it's there. There's other solutions out there besides ending your life. I'd like everybody to leave with one of these cards. How many out here have been informed about suicide prevention before this talk this night? Well, that's good. There has been a start. Probably not as much as you've been lectured on seat belts and helmets and smoke detectors and that kind of stuff, but this is the number 2 cause. How many have discussed suicide and suicide awareness and prevention resources with their roommate or significant other? As I thought, why not? Why not start the conversation? Form a buddy system. Let them know that you care about them and that you're there for them, and you hope they're there for you if it ever gets to a point where you're in a troubled way. You know, the school has resources, but the school doesn't know you like you know your roommate and your roommate knows you. So even if you're not the best of friends, you do want to see them live through college and the rest of their life. So have a discussion, just a moment, just so they know that you're there for them if they ever feel like that, and if you ever look bad to them, that they should step in and intercede. Because suicide is preventable.
As part of my journey, I have been active in learning about suicide prevention. I am now on the Montgomery County Suicide Prevention Task Force in my community. I also learned about the Peyton Heart Project. and it has become my true passion. The Peyton Heart Project's mission is to help raise global awareness about suicide, bullying, and to help end the stigma surrounding mental health issues. The project is named after Peyton James, a red-haired, freckled, 13-year-old boy who in the fall of 2014 died by suicide after years of being bullied. These yarn hearts, you can see I'm wearing one, are made by hand, and they represent the delicate heart of a life lost to suicide. Each has an inspiring quote on it. Some of my favorite quotes are, "Always choose kindness. Believe in yourself. Your journey will be worth it. Your life matters. Every day is a second chance, and the world needs you." These hearts are placed in public places around the world for people to find in their everyday lives. The Peyton Heart Project hopes that finding a heart causes people to stop for a moment, reflect on a life lost to suicide, and on the fact that everyone's life matters. I have made some hearts. Please feel free. Take one. You can keep it or pay it forward. Put it somewhere for somebody else to find. I hope it helps others when they find this to feel good, smile, and in turn pass that feeling on to others. In conclusion, we would like to say,
let's stand strong.
Let's come together to be aware of suicide, to prevent suicide.
Let's help anyone who may be making the decision of suicide.
Suicide is preventable.
Please speak up.
With help comes hope.
Please reach out.
Be someone's lifeline. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you all for listening to us. You speakers were wonderful. Thank you, Christy, for making this possible and inviting us.
Thank you.
Right there. You live in